Identity, place, and culture. A student's culture, place, and the environment intertwine to influence our perceptions and can show humanity's patterns of development. Culture and place can inform identity and contribute to the unique perspectives of individuals. This unit focuses on culturally responsive lessons that also combines and weaves in themes of environment and geographic location. Students will be encouraged to rethink the meaning of culture in connection with their community and their environment. Students will create meaningful connections to their culture and gain further understanding of the cultures of their peers. Students will engage in critical thinking, personal reflection, develop acceptance of others' perspectives and that are different than their own, and learn about contemporary artists with cultural, place, and environmental themes, as well as adding written entries, sketches, ideas, collages, and self-assessments into a unit art journal. Students will create 4 main projects in this unit, which include their own map, silhouette, mixed media portrait, 3D map, and a garden sculpture. The big questions associated with this unit are: what are the most interesting things about your culture? What things define culture? Is culture connected to the environment? How do we improve the environment that we live in? And what issues are evident in your local community? What does making art inspire people to look at in their community or surroundings? And how does engaging and creating art enrich people's lives? All the artists included in this unit have themes of identity, place, culture, community, maps, or the environment. Artists include Frida Kahlo, a Mexican artist who created self-portraits that reflect her identity and her culture. Nick Georgiou, a contemporary artist who adds both 2D and 3D elements to portraits using recycled old books and newspapers. Louis Mallow Jones, an African-American artist and educator who created portraits, landscapes, costumes, collages, and images of African mass with combined place-based influences of where she studied in Paris, Italy, Africa, and the United States, as well as her own culture. Hugo Rodin, a Swiss temporary artist who worked in mixed media, creating place-based large-scale installations, including the Seven Magic Mountains installation in Nevada. Additional artists include Courtney Madison, who creates sculptures of coral reefs to bring attention to the threat on the ecosystem and the environment using coils of clay and creating textures within the clay. Chen Zhouzhen, a Beijing native artist who creates site-specific installations and sculptures that preserves personal and collective memories. Ayumi Shibata, a Japanese artist who creates 3D sculptures of nature, landscapes, and cities, and she cuts out paper using the traditional Japanese cutting method, which shows silhouette details. Here are some examples of some student projects. They can use mixed media to create their portraits, including paint, colored pencils, watercolor, collaging images. They can use for their 3D sculptures recycled fabric, or they can use clay, yarn, string, polymer clay, and they can also use paper to construct different shapes for their buildings and their 3D sculptures as well. Here are some examples of my student flyers. So I have some flyers to start with vocabulary that is associated with identity and place. I have some maps and how to read maps, and also a video on cartography, like a basic intro to cartography, and then different types of maps, and then a page that shows where they're going to start their sketchbook. So they will start drawing out a map of their community, and they will cut this out and paste it into their sketchbook. Here are some more flyers that focus on the self-portraits, the portrait artists, silhouette portraits, their art unit sketchbooks, which they will start using in the beginning by creating a self-portrait sketch and then adding an observational drawing of nature, which we would go out into the school courtyard and sketch different plants and animals or whatever they see in the courtyard. And then they will add in also their student assessments and then any vocabulary words and research that they conduct.